For someone in the tax department, REIT rules are second nature. But someone outside, it could feel like just learning a new language. So again, very important to explain the reason behind those rules and how it impacts people's roles in the organization.
Joining me today is Maha Din, Vice President of Tax with Rayonier. Maha, thanks so much for joining us today.
Of course, thank you for inviting me.
Now, you were on a panel here at REITwise focused on operational and day-to-day tax issues. How do timber REITs like Rayonier meet the income test requirement?
So Matt, the primary source of income for timber REITs like Rayonier is the sale of stumpage. That is the right to cut timber. And as you know, to qualify as a REIT needs to have 75% of its income from real estate sources and 95% of it from real estate and passive sources. So this right to cut stumpage, the disposal of timber, is qualified REIT income for both the 75% test and the 95% test. So what's interesting is that the sale of stumpage or the disposal of income generates capital gain income, which is different than other REITs, say, right? And this capital gain treatment was passed through a regulation back in the 1940s. So the fact that the sale of stumpage it generates capital gain income under Internal Revenue Code Section 631B is essential for timber REITs to satisfy the income test and to maintain the REIT qualification.
And Rayonier has a real estate development business as well. How is that conducted within the REIT structure?
So Rayonier has a real estate development business, which it conducts under the taxable REIT subsidiary, or the TRS. So conducting the real estate development business in the TRS is important because of the REIT prohibited transaction limitations. So by conducting our real estate business in the TRS, we separate our active real estate development business from the core REIT activities, that is the sale of stumpage, to ensure REIT compliance. So one thing to note is that REITs the TRSs are subject to 21% corporate income tax. In addition, a TRS can represent only 20% of the value of the REIT assets. So prior to 2018, a TRS could represent 25% of the value of a REIT. So I am in support of Nareit's efforts to increase that percentage back to 25% because it gives the REITs more flexibility to operate their business while still keeping the overall non-qualified REIT asset percentage to 25%.
And the REIT rules can, of course, at times be complicated for those that don't live and breathe these every day. How do you educate your non-tax focused colleagues at Rayonier about the REIT rules?
You're exactly right, Matt. REIT rules can be really complex, right? And it's important for everybody in the organization to understand those rules. So what we do at Rayonier is that we conduct REIT training on a regular basis. And I think it's very important to explain to folks not only the rules, but also the reason behind those rules, right? So for someone in the tax department, REIT rules are second nature. But someone outside, it could feel like just learning a new language. So again, very important to explain the reason behind those rules and how it impacts people's roles in the organization. One of my favorite way to train is by making it conversational. So instead of me just going through the rules, what I do is I start by asking, what would you like to know about our REIT structure or the REIT rules that you encounter in your day-to-day role? So this approach has led to some really insightful discussions. And it also helps me tailor the training to answer real-world concerns. Some of the questions I get are like, Maha, we file one SEC financial statement, then why do we have so many entities? That's when I explain the REIT entities, TRS entities, the purpose of each. Another question I get is, what are the benefits of being a REIT? Is it worth the complexity? That's when I explain the income tax benefit, the access to capital, the increased shareholder returns. Once I explain the benefits, the follow-up question I get is, if the REIT structure is so beneficial, why doesn't every company convert to a REIT? That's when I explain the income test requirement, asset test requirement, the distribution requirement. So again, by making it conversational, it makes it engaging, more fun, and more impactful.